today. Sure. We've got a lot of questions coming in on Facebook from girls and some guys that are considering putting braces on, and they want to know about the process because it's something they're completely unfamiliar with.
Sure.
So one of the first things that everybody wants to know is when you get braces on, does it hurt?
No, getting the braces on didn't hurt me at all. You know, you have to sit there for a little while. Sometimes it takes an hour to 2 hours, and it's really just a matter of keeping your mouth open, and it's really relaxing, actually. It doesn't hurt at all. When you go home a couple hours later, your teeth might be a little bit sore. Everybody's a little different. Mine, just depending on what they did on the adjustments, because they do something different every time, it might hurt maybe for a little while, for a day. Nothing horrible. I might have had to take Advil here and there, but
So Advil would make it feel better?
yeah, the Advil makes it feel better.
Okay,
and
good.
It may last a day, maybe a couple days, and some people don't even feel hardly anything. So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's really good to know. So how old were you?
I was 12 when I first started. I did have a phase 1 and phase 2. It was a while ago. So I had an expander first, and that's the little appliance that goes in the top of your mouth that your mom has to turn the key every day, and so make sure.
So that didn't hurt either?
Crank you harder. No.
No.
No, didn't hurt at all. There was a little pressure
Awesome.
right in here, but no pain, and you shouldn't have pain.
That's good to know. Everybody wants to know about that part. So, how old were you when you got braces
I was
on?
about 12 when I had the expander, and then once all my permanent teeth came in, then I got full braces all the way around, top and bottom, and that I had for about a year and a half, maybe.
So is there an age limit? Like, do you have to get them really young?
No, actually, and more so nowadays, it's better to try to wait until all your permanent teeth are in to get started, unless there's absolutely something that needs to be done first. It's been a while since I had my braces, so back then the technology wasn't as good as it is today, and nowadays I know they're able to avoid a lot of things like expanders and stuff like that. So, you know, you probably just wait till all your permanent teeth are in, which I think it's usually about age 12 to 14. Boys sometimes are a little bit later.
Okay, so like my mom's 70 and she could get braces if she wanted
She
to?
could, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Yep.
Another question that everyone asks is, their dentist does braces also, and they want to know if you should go to a dentist or if you should go to an orthodontist.
Well, in my opinion, I would say, you know, an orthodontist has to become a dentist first, and then he specializes in orthodontics.
Oh, okay.
And they do that every day of their life. That's all they do is move teeth. A dentist doesn't move teeth, so they sometimes will take on simple cases, but ultimately an orthodontist should be doing your braces.
Okay, so if I go to an orthodontist, do they give you a free consultation? Do they all give free consultations?
I think most of them do. I know my orthodontist didn't no charge for an exam, and then they just kind of take pictures and maybe an x-ray, the panoramic that goes around one time, real easy, no pain, not like the ones you have to bite on in the back or anything. And then the doctor will come in and he'll let you know, whether or not you need braces now or if you'll need them down the road, and just kind of, give you a little bit of an idea of what you need.
Okay, and so you should probably get more than one consultation?
You can. It's always good to get, a couple opinions, unless you go into an office and you are just so happy with everything that they say. Stick with it. But you definitely want an orthodontist who loves what he does, and he is up on technology, up on all the literature. He has the passion for it, because you're going to get a good result.
Okay, good to know. Another question that we've gotten from several people is saying that getting your teeth straight isn't really all there is to braces, that it's not the most important thing. And what does that have to do with the bite? What's the difference between getting the bite straight versus the teeth?
Well, actually, braces are to fit your bite together so that you have a functioning bite that lasts you a long time, keeps your teeth healthy, and the straight just comes along with it. So it's kind of a plus. You get this nice bite where your teeth fit together really good and your teeth look great at the same time. So
awesome. So the bite is very important.
Right. That's actually the reason for orthodontics, is so that your teeth fit together properly.
Okay. Another question. I don't know, you were young when you had them on. Obviously, you know a lot more now. But brackets. some kids wanted to know if a bracket type makes a difference. Do you know anything about types of brackets and what's better?
Exactly. There's all different types of braces. Nowadays, typically they don't use the big bands that go around the teeth anymore. Once in a while you have to have them on your molars, but it's usually not. Usually you just have the brackets that stick on all the way around, but there are all different types. I know that the Damon system is a really good system out there right now. And that's what my orthodontist that I had is currently using, and he loves them. They're a frictionless brace, so the forces on the teeth aren't even as strong as what I had. So the kids now,
So if my daughter gets braces and they put the Damon braces on her, she's gonna probably have less pain.
Yeah, less discomfort. They're a lot smaller. They're smoother around the edges. The treatment time, I believe, is a little bit shorter than what it used to be, and yeah, they're a lot better nowadays. And there's definitely all different types, but I've heard that those are the best.
Okay, awesome. Next question on our list is about the cost. People say that it's really super expensive. Other people say it's very affordable. How does that work? How did they come up with a price for you?
Well, I think every orthodontist, I'm sure, is different. I'm sure there's some that are very expensive and there's some that are not. Again, if you go to a dentist, you're probably going to get a really cheap rate because they're not doing as much as what an orthodontist would do. So you kind of have to be careful with, not really going with the cheapest price, but you don't want to spend the most either. So, money is definitely a factor in it. I think that every family has to figure out some kind of budget for it. And there's different payment options. I think with my family, it was probably like a month-to-month basis. What can you do per month? Let's work it out to see what you can do every month, for an extended amount of time, maybe over the treatment time. If you're in braces for 12 months, you can spread the payments over 12 months.
Okay, so the doctor you went to was who?
Dr. King.
And he made the payments custom to like what your family could afford?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Another person asked about food and gum and candy. They were real concerned about what they wouldn't be able to eat. So what was your experience with what you can and can't eat and how that worked for you?
Right. Well, when you get the braces on, the assistant goes over a whole kit with you, at least in the office that I went to with Dr. King. They did a whole kit. They sat down with me and my mom and they said, okay, this is what you can and can't eat. This is how to brush your teeth. This is how you floss. This is how you do everything. And the things you can and can't eat were nothing sticky or chewy, crunchy like gum, hard candies, stuff like that. So I really did try to stay away from it, because what happens if you do it, the braces break, then you have to go back and get it fixed, and then you're in your treatment way longer than what.
So did you ever sneak some gum in?
Yeah, probably. But then I was probably picking it out of my teeth.
Okay, so you would advise against it, but sometimes we might slip and do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to destroy everything, but try to stay away from it.
Okay. Next up is a question we got from a lot of kids that are interested about flossing. They don't like to floss. They want to know if it's really that important. And when you have braces on, how do you do it?
Actually, I have some little things here I could show you.
Okay.
I have a model of some braces, and they're actually Damon braces. So there's some clear ones on the top and metal on the bottom. And then you can do different colors and stuff like that. I can show you later. But this is the floss here that I use. It's called Super Floss. And what you do is on one end it's stiff, kind of like a needle, so you can thread it through, and then it gets a little bit thicker, and then it goes on to regular floss. So what you can do is you just take it and you go underneath the wire of your bracket in between the two braces, like this, and you can pull it through, and then you just floss down in your teeth like you normally would, all the way down, in the gum line. And then you slowly pull it out and go between the next two. So you do have to go in between every two teeth. It takes a little longer, but it is important to do because stuff does get trapped in there.
Okay, so it does take a little bit longer to do.
Yeah, it does, and this is the kind of Super Floss. This is what we used, and you can usually find it. They'll give you a pack usually at your orthodontist, but you can usually find it like Walgreens or Walmart sometimes.
Okay, excellent. So that goes hand in hand with oral hygiene. We know flossing is important.
Yep.
And what else about oral hygiene is really important?
Brushing. You want to make sure that you brush 3 times a day after every meal that you have, because food gets trapped and it definitely can create infection in your gums. And when you brush, you want to brush, up towards in through the brackets and circular motions. Brush it, scrub your teeth like you're scrubbing a floor, because you want to get everything out. And then the other thing is a proxy brush. They usually give you one of these, and this fits right in between the brackets. So you can just go right in there. If there's something you can't get out, don't use a toothpick because it's more stiff. It can break the wire.
Can you show me that again? Put that proxy brush right in there.
It just goes right in here like this, underneath the wire. So you can get in between top and bottom and really get in there and scrub anything that gets stuck.
Excellent. Okay, so oral hygiene plays a big part in the success of your...
You don't want to have the white spots on your teeth when you're done, so you definitely want to make sure that you brush really well.
If you get the white spots on your teeth, what do you do about it?
Well, they don't go away, so you have to talk to your general dentist and see what they think. But typically the only thing you can really do is just continue keeping up with the brushing, and maybe have some bleaching done to kind of even it out a little bit more, but try to just brush really well so you can avoid it completely.
Okay, now we have someone who talked about poking wires. How do you... Poking wires and wax.
Yeah, well, poking wires can happen. Some people have more than others, but when your teeth start to move, the wires start to shift as well. So sometimes what will happen is like these little hooks or the wire will start poking out the end because your teeth are getting nicer, but they're, things are shifting around. So if the wire sticks out on the end, like there's a teeny little piece right here, it's like a little needle, and it can poke you in your cheek, and you're not going to be in tears crying like that. It's just annoying. So what you can do is you can take a piece of this wax, and you usually get wax like this, and you take a little piece and just go like this, like the size of a pea, and just kind of roll it into a ball and smush it together, and then you can stick it right on the bracket and the wire right there. It's kind of like a Band-Aid temporarily. And then once you go see your orthodontist the next appointment, or you can call them and say, hey, I have a poking wire, and usually they'll get you in and they'll clip it off. And then the wax you can just peel right off. Comes right off. Like if you want to eat or brush or whatnot, it just comes right off like that.
Okay, so that's easy enough to do. So braces in general are really helpful. They're not painful, and it's worth the time and energy you put into it. Does it make you talk weird?
Talking weird? No. I think you might feel like you're talking weird because initially you have these bulky brackets on your teeth, so you're feeling like you have to put your lips around them to talk. But everyone else, they don't realize it as much as you, and then you get used to it and you're fine. Within a couple days to a week, I would say, it becomes a part of you.
Okay, so the bottom line is you recommend orthodontics for braces. Was it worth it?
Definitely. Yeah.
It was.
I got lots of compliments on my smile, so it was definitely worth it for me. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Ash. Okay, Ashley, one other question. Actually, two. Is it really important to get cleanings, or can you get cleanings done while you have braces on? Can they get to your teeth?
Yep, they definitely can. You can still go to get your cleanings every 6 months like you normally would. Some hygienists want you to have your wires taken out, and then they clean after the wires are out, and some just say leave them in, they can work around it. So you just have to see what your hygienist prefers. But yes, you can still get your cleanings every 6 months.
And it's important to do it.
Yes, very important.
Very important. Okay, and our last question ever. The word out there is that when their teeth are straight, they don't want anything else on their teeth. What about retainers?
Retainers, the question of the day. How long do I have to wear retainers? Forever. Retainers are something that you want to keep forever. If it breaks, go to your orthodontist. Ask them what you need to do, because your teeth have a memory. They want to go back to where they came from. They're comfortable in that position. So wear your retainers just like you're told every night. If you have retainers that are fixed retainers, which are awesome, I have one on top. Those are great because you don't have to worry about taking it in and out.
Amazing. Well, thank you for the A to Z on braces and getting perfect teeth and a beautiful smile. Ashley, you were great. Thanks again.